Hello everyone, my name is Anya and today I will continue my series about the alchemy of smudging. So for today I picked frankincense, myrrh and patchouli. So I was planning on doing that last week, but for some reason I did not get it ready, and then I decided to talk about rose petals and propolis, which ended up to be the right one because everybody was in a weird mood due to the eclipse and the new moon, so that worked out fine. So let's talk about the frankincense, or also known as olibanum, and it grows in deserts and semi-deserts in a very hot climate, and it has been known for millennia, and it's considered very valuable. So the botanical name of the plant is Boswellia. It is considered an old medical plant, and it was used in earlier times by doctors and pharmacists for therapeutic purposes, and still up to date it is used for that. So the incense tree grows between 7 to 15 meters high. Don't ask me what that is in feet, please. And the resin of frankincense trees is special and valuable of the plant. And the flowering period is from late March to mid-April. Because then the incense resin is harvested, and with the harvest of incense resin, it takes like several months. So, as with most resins, the resin is carefully extracted by deep cuts into the bark of the trees, dried in air, and further processed for the usage then. You can also use the leaves as well for smudging, just saying. And you can purchase them as well as leaves. It doesn't have to be the resin. The resin has a whitish yellow color, and you can get it in small beads, or little gravel. And there are different types of frankincense, so I can't get too much into it, but just some of it. The ingredients of different species are also used for different purposes, right? So, for example, the Boswellia serrata is widespread in India, and for example, it is the only resin that's used. It's used for therapeutic purposes in medicine, and it can also be processed in pharmaceutical products. So I don't like the word pharmaceutical, but I'm just using it to explain it, that you can use it for medicine. So each type of incense also has its own smell when you smudge it. And you will notice if you use different types as well. The different kinds that we have, for example, is Boswellia carteri, and this we know as Somalia frankincense, or olibanum, right? So there is the Aden olibanum, for example, and the white arant. Then we have the Boswellia freriana, and this is the Alchemy olibanum. Then we have the olibanum eritrea, and it's like an Arabic olibanum. And then we have Boswellia serrata, Boswellia glabra, which is Indian incense. So There's so many kinds, but it would take too much to explain all of them. So I'm just explaining you the few that I like using, which I find very rich in their purpose as well. So let's get into the incense a bit. So the term incense comes from the old High German wie hoch, and it means nothing more but holy smoke. And I mentioned that before. This goes for all of the incense. So, but frankincense is probably the best known smudging resin, and it's mentioned several times in the Bible as well. The Catholic Church uses frankincense and in mixtures with other resins, of course, especially on public holidays. Now listen to this, please. And the incense has a meaning there, because not only the spiritual opening for the transcendent divine, but also the cleansing and disinfective effect is important when many people come together, right? So, but also for the spiritual opening, this is used. So, which explains the church using it. I mean, since it opened the mind. Just saying, you know what I mean? And most people are not aware of it. So not getting into that, I drifted off again. So I like to use olibanum for nice mixtures. And you can use it with pretty much everything. So, but what you want to do with any kind of olibanum, you only want to burn it and smudge it when your charcoal has reached a very high temperature. So, because other than that, there is a chance of harmful substances that could be created if the charcoal is not hot enough. Okay, so keep that in mind. So, and this incense was already mentioned in the Bible, like I said, and also for the Assyrians, the Hebrews, Kubaba, Egyptians, the ancient Greeks. It was the most important incense, especially for Ishtar, for the Assyrian, for Adonis, the god of resurrected nature, and Baal, the Assyrian god of highness. Not that high. So for them the incense was kindled. So, and the pre-Muslim Arabs dedicated the incense to the sun god Sabis, and in Egypt the olibanum was consecrated to the god Amun, or Amun as we know that, of Thebes. So, and one of its ingredients, incense, has been shown to have a very anxiolytic and antidepressant psychoactive effect. So, not all of them, but one of them. Like, you have to get the good stuff, you know what I mean? The one that the church burns as well. So also what the fumes do for you, they help you with colds and skin diseases. So I like to use frankincense to widen and strengthen the spirit at the same time. It helps you to support and focus on the spirit and, you know, and rise from the physicality, if this is the right word. Frankincense is mainly used as a consecration and blessing, or for blessings, but it's also often included in cleansing incense mixes. So this is where I like to put it in, even for little healing sessions that I do with people. And also it gives you a nice smell in your house. But especially negative energies can be eliminated with this incense. So frankincense strengthens the mind and the psyche. So So you can use it very well for cleansing rituals as well. So also if you want to free yourself or others as a healing worker or energy worker from stressful energies and purify and energize the aura and the chakras, you can use olibanum. So the energetic cleaning of rooms in houses and apartments, it's also very successful with this incense. So it clears the atmosphere, right? That's what it does. And therefore it creates free space for development, for new things. So, and it also has a strong cleansing effect on body, mind, and atmosphere. So, you know what I mean? So once all negative and old is gone, something new can come in. So, which also helps to manifest. I mean, we fail manifesting because there is no room for the universe to fill us with new, since we have all this other shit in there that doesn't belong there anymore. And this is why I'm always preaching that you need to release everything that has no purpose for you anymore, right? So this is one of the reasons as well. If you want something new in, you have to clean up. Same with your closet. You want a new blouse, but you don't have room to hang up a nice new blouse because you have those old blouses in your closet, right? So just that you understand what I mean by that. And also the other reason is, like I mentioned before, is fear. You know, if you have no fear, or if you have nothing old that triggers you, so like, then you're not approachable anymore for anything. Okay, so just think about that. So I just threw that in there. Also frankincense is considered as an anti-stress remedy for nervous tension, any germs. You know, it's a disinfectant. It can help you healing wounds, I mean physical wounds, cuts or whatever as well. Helps you with the cell renewal then. It's also anti-rheumatic, you know, for bone issue. It's psychoactive, it's mood enhancing, the list is never ending. So also if you want to do some smudging regarding ancestors, which this is the time right now, as most of you noticed, they're coming back strongly to support and give us messages so that we do not miss anything at this time, right? Like, we're so close to reach our goal this time, and so we don't make any errors or mistakes anymore. Our ancestors are coming in strongly with their experience to help and support. But some of you will understand what I mean by that. So therefore this incense will help you with that, and it will also it helps you to close inner peace with yourself and also with the people that had to go. So we can forgive and let go of stressful situations that we have experienced with deceased ones, right? Is it you didn't have the time to say goodbye? Is it because you argued before that person left? Is it you can't deal with that person leaving? It's always very stressful for one, even though we know they're not gone. We know they're just leaving that vessel. So, but still, we are still here. We are still human. We are still experiencing the human experience, right? So, but it will support you with this. It helps you to say goodbye and cope with grief and feelings. So also whenever we feel depressed and discouraged, It helps us to regain some energy and self-confidence and contentment. So frankincense fumes, it's like a very light-filled smoke, and it gently pulls you out of your mental depression and gives you courage and energy, but in a very gentle way. So therefore we can accept many situations as there are, and also experience and understand the positive sense of adverse circumstances, right? It helps us see the good and negative, because some things are just made for us to learn and to understand. So sorry, I got a message. So frankincense makes our minds clear and promotes peace and alertness and so on. There's a few of the essentials, right? In doing so, it lets the emotions go back and then dissolve the disturbing thoughts, so that you can purposely solve other upcoming problems. You know, if we're filled with too much old stuff and then something else happens, and we all been there, which I call the cherry on top, as we all do. So then something else happens, and then the cherry on top and the cream off top and the sprinkles as well, and then boom, right? So therefore, it makes it easier for us if we let go of other things first. Also, frankincense has been used and can be used for visions. But not to experience beautiful dreams of rainbow and unicorns. It helps you to gain insight and in which path to take in our lives in order to continue to grow spiritually. And it deepens our intuition and brings our old inner knowledge into consciousness and shows new possibilities and visions. And this I find so important, that we bring out our old inner knowledge that has always been there, and we need to access this again. So, and again, sometimes this knowledge is also buried under all our other crap that we carry around. So if you're looking for your favorite pair of socks and you open the drawer, and on top you have all those old socks that no longer suit you, that you don't want to wear anymore, don't keep them in the drawer, throw them out, and then yay, you find your favorite pairs of socks all the way down in the drawer. So I know, me and my examples, but that's me. Yeah, and its sent message is literally let the truth in. Release the old that is not true anymore, that it happened. It's not the truth anymore, and find yourself, your true self in there, and under all this clutter. Okay, so let the truth in. Then also, before I forget to mention that with letting the truth in is also like I said, bringing out your old inner knowledge, the one that you always had with you. Not only to remove the clutter, but also to remove the programming, right? So you understand what I mean. So, and that's another thing why we need to get rid of our clutter. and the programming, so the truth can come in, so that we see it, you know, for our visions. So I got like 3 favorite ones. So just in case you're interested, I use the Olibanum Aden or Aden. This one smells very light and fruity, and the Aden incense is considered one of the best qualities, one of the richer ones, and also like pastwise Aden launched or on the Gulf of Aden or that Olibanum has launched the legendary Frankincense road, on which the fragrant resins were transported to mostly all over the world. So that's one of the higher qualities. And then what I also like is the Olibanum Eritrea. This one smells very full but very sweetish, and yeah, like honey, I would say, spicy, and yet, you know, it got the classic frankincense smell. So it's a very earthy frankincense, I would say. And then also I like the Olibanum Somalia, and that one just smells very fresh and very spicy. So those are my favorite ones. Just, you know, yeah, personal matters. So then next we have the Myrrh. So the Latin name is Commiphora abyssinica, and it's a balm tree. So there is a difference between resin, balm, gum, or so it's all kind of resins, but different kinds of resin. So I'm explaining that a bit later. I don't think I have done that yet. So and this goes for under the balm trees. So, and the myrrh tree grows like the frankincense and barren stony soils on the edge of deserts. And in Africa there are many different myrrh trees. So and the trees, they're very thorny and shrubby, and it's said that the resin was used more than 3,000 years ago, which I don't know, because no one has the real calculation of these days, right? And to these days, you know, myrrh is used in addition to use as a high quality incense resin for treatments of inflammations, bronchitis, or intestinal diseases. So the Egyptians, they smudged myrrh at noon in honor of their sun god Ra. So for all the sky watchers, sun watchers, and all, you want to keep this in mind when the next chemtrails hit you. And this is all I'm saying to it. So just keep that in mind. And myrrh was one of the most important incense back then. Of course, along with the Olibanum. So, and myrrh is very warm, it's very earthy, it's, you know, it's a very spicy fragrance fume. And so because of that, back then in ancient cultures, it was a symbol of the lap of the earth and the female sensuality. So it can also smell a bit bitter, but that bitterish, I mean, if bitter is a smell, I don't know, but maybe you get my point here. But it depends on the quality of it. So the smoke of it is very sharp, but has a lightning and vibrating effect. So in spiritual sessions, myrrh is mostly used in combination with other incense. So, and not that this has anything to do with smudging, but I find it important. Like, if you make a tincture out of myrrh, it has wound healing and tissue strengthenings or scar forming effects. It's also useful for cancer. It's very disinfectant for any kind of funguses. So it's very rejuvenating. So, and I use myrrh to soothe my strained mind if I have one, right? So it can help you really ground because of his earthy character. It can help you really ground and bond to earth. So, but yet from a medical aspect or point of view, I don't recommend smudging with myrrh if you depressed. This is one of the ones you should not use. And I'm talking of not of mild depression, I'm talking of the real ones. So because it can strengthen your depressions. So just don't. So yeah, and what's the nice thing about frankincense and myrrh is they're considered as a pair of divine pregnancy, you can call it. Because frankincense olibanum is the male part, the spirit in the heaven, and myrrh is the female part of body and earth. So it's a very nice combination. And myrrh has also a very strong cleansing effect. So it's a nice contrast to the olibanum, which opens the door strongly to the spiritual world or to your mind, as I mentioned. And the myrrh has a very strong grounding effect. So it is like the yin to the yang, which is why frankincense and myrrh like to be smudged together. You know, it keeps you grounded, and it keeps you, the one keeps you up there and the other one keeps you grounded. And I find that very, very important because it belongs together, right? Like I said, as above, so below, as within, so without. So I find it is very important to connect this. So if you do a journey, you travel, even astral projecting, whatever you do, make sure you're still grounded so you don't drift off. You know what I mean? It's just important. It makes it easier to come back because, yeah, like I said before, we're still humans, so we're still in that body. And we have a job to do here, so yeah. And what did I wanted to say? Oh yeah, especially in the 12th night around Yule, I use myrrh next to others to cleanse and to protect. So, but above all, to connect the open selenium again with the earth. So that's the main purpose for me. So yeah, and again, myrrh smells earthy and very aromatic, I find. So what else does myrrh for you? It brings some traction and integration of repressed feelings. So this is why I said do not use it if you have depressions. Not unless you have some kind of counseling, etc., a healer with you that can catch you for that, if I make sense. Yeah, because yeah, whatever is repressed and comes out, you need to deal with, right? Yeah, and Myrrh also has a very sensually stimulating, grounding, slowing effect, and it has a very special relation to women and femininity, and it also brings peaceful sleep. It helps you relax, and it has a very inward leading effect. And also, the love life is also very strengthened by the fume. So, which in ancient times, this was one of the main reasons. Yeah, myrrh is a beautiful ingredient for an invocation, or I would say evocation ceremony that can help us connect mind and heart. And I'm not talking about evoking a spirit, I'm talking evoking your what is going on inside of you, you know, the connection with mind and heart. That is the evoking I talk about. Please rewind and listen to it again. I'm talking about the evocation ceremony that connects mind and heart. And I think I mentioned that the other day, that we disconnect this, and it's so important to be one with us, with everything. So, because and the reason is also for it is not always what we consider right in our mental clarity, right? That which makes our heart sing. So, and then we get into conflict, which way is the right one? And sometimes there seems to be no way out. So that's because your heart tells you that, your mind tells you that. So that's why we need to connect this. So, because we're blocking our own communication here. So, yeah, and we can also connect with our spirit helpers, you know, and to understand the language, or let me put it this way, to re-understand the language of our heart and bring the feelings into harmony with our mind, right? So it all goes back to that for me. Yeah, and also you can put this also, you can also bless amulet or talismans or healing objects. You can charge them energetically with this. You give them protection or healing properties, right? You can transfer your personal message to an amulet or talisman or whatever that is you have. And it was, and in addition to mastic that I talked about, myrrh was one of the ingredients of the incense of the Oracle of Delphi. That was another one. So, and after you smudged with myrrh, you know, you can recognize your own wealth. You find contentment, peace, and harmony, and the happy moments in your life can revive, you know. Because true happiness, we honestly do not find in the material world. We do not. But it lives out of us. And I know we all need money to live and survive. We all have to do the matrix thing, and I'm working and I'm still broke because I go work and and it's gone because of all the expenses and everything going and becoming more expensive. So, but I'm not really getting upset about it anymore because it cannot give me it might calm you down for a bit, but it can give you the happiness. The happiness lives out of us, you know. So, and the message of the myrrh is plain and simply, it's the spirit of life and the soul power. So, and if you smudge with either myrrh or frankincense, please be aware that one stands for female and the other for male. So depending on what you want to do, right? So if you want to work a bit on your feminine side, don't use frankincense, use the myrrh. You know what I'm saying? So before I go to patchouli, I just want to get into the balm rubber gum thing a bit. So the hard resins, these are, for example, the copal or the mastic that gets drained out of the tree directly, and the soft resins like the balm trees. It's like a natural mixture of resins that dissolved in essential oils, which hardens after evaporation of these oils, and has become an amorphous, shapeless, glassy mass. And the balsams include it's like turpentine or the Peru balsam, and then we have the rubber and mucus resin, and that's a mixture of dried vegetable juices, including resins, rubber, mucilage, essential oils, and this occurs naturally often and is often used as a material because of its consistence. So one of them is, for example, galbanum or opoponax. I haven't talked about them yet. Then we have the gums. There are non-alcohol soluble vegetable juices, and they're able to absorb a great deal of water, and therefore they're frequently used as binding and carrier agents in the chemical and pharmaceutical industry, or helpful if you want to make incense sticks or combine or make your own little incense beads, And then, of course, we have the fossil resins. I talked about one of them. That's the amber, for example, because it's like not a resin. It's a fossil resin because of its age. So I just wanted to throw that in because I haven't explained that. I forgot about it. So not that important yet, but it's interesting to know if you make your own incense mixes, right? And it can help depending on what you want to do. So and next and last I have the patchouli, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows patchouli. You either love the smell or you hate the smell. That's no other way. There is no in between. So, and it's one of the most famous aphrodisiac fragrances, and it comes from the plant Pogostemon patchouli. So, and it got very large hairy leaves, and they're distinctive, and it's cultivated in numerous tropical countries of East and South Asia. So, and the Indian patchouli are particularly rich in flavor, and the plant is traditionally used as a fragrance and for the production of incense. So, there you go. And it smells heavy, I would say slightly earthy, and could be seductive if you really like it, like warm, musky, exotic, right? So I got once a patchouli plant, back in Germany. And I did the big ouchie boo-boo, not knowing what I was doing. I just wanted a patchouli plant. I'm like, I'm gonna make my own oil or whatever, right? If you ever get a patchouli plant, do not put it in your living room or bedroom. I repeat, do not. It stinks like cow piss, I swear. I didn't have a cat. Now I thought my cat peed somewhere, but the plant itself, when it blooms and it's in a room, it's a little overwhelming. So that was my experience. So you don't want to put it anywhere near you, the plant itself, before, you know, you get the fragrance out of it. So if you like the fragrance, that fragrance or the plant or the incense will make you feel, or the smoke in this case, will make you feel safe. And so it would go good with rose petals. And it can build an affirmation to the opposite sex, of course. So patchouli is very suitable for dreamy hours that you know that you need to relax, and it's absolutely an aphrodisiac. It so is, because it's sensual and relaxing, right? So patchouli, I would say, is an incense that you want to use if you live too much in your own thoughts, and if you live too much in your own mind. And they get stuck there, that they ground there, I mean, in your head. It integrates the energies and the transcendent inner and outer boundaries. So it helps you to let go of the past as well, which goes very nice with the olibanum, right? And the myrrh. So, and of course, patchouli can also ward off negative influences, and it helps you to use your powers that were given to you. You know, it helps you to find the meaning again. So it helps you with mental imbalance and gives you just and gives anxious and insecure people support and strength. So it's, yeah, I would say it goes very nice with rose leaves. Yeah, and like I said, it has a very, very relaxing effect on our irritated nerves, right? It harmonizes body and mind, like I said. So, and it can also let you enjoy sensuality, and, you know, so if you have lost the ability to enjoy this out of different reasons. And with this fume, with the smoke, you can feel you can feel protected and secured again. So, and even in stressful and hectic times, you can regain your balance with it. Yeah, and also patchouli belongs to the magical smudging plants. So, with which one supports the innermost forces, rituals, and actions. So, and in former times it was customary to give a broad framework to rituals with incantations, actions, and magic formulas to make it a little more special. So, but that's not only for patchouli, it's with different kinds of incense, of course. So, but always remember, magic serves the purpose of fulfilling a wish, requesting something and making it and turn it to reality, manifesting it, working with those energies, right? This is about making things a reality, but for the benefit of people. So, and I'm not using the word dark and light. Whoever knows me knows my opinion about this. So, as long as it's for the good and for the benefit of people, there is no dark and light. It is just the right thing to do. So, yeah, and like I said, you can also use it if you feel imbalanced, if you're restless, or if you're totally stressed out. You know, the fumes will help you with this, because it has very stimulating and tonifying antiseptic effect. And also, oh yeah, and it's very, if you smudge that outside, no mosquitoes will come. So, one of them. So, and yeah, also snake bites. I wouldn't go like rattlesnake. Snake bite wise, you should find a hospital or call 911. But it wards them off a bit. They don't like the smell. So what can I say about patchouli? For me, patchouli is the incense that can best take your fears. Yeah, I would say. So that was it for today. A little longer than usual, but there was so much to talk about regarding olibanum. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. And again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave a comment or write me a little email. I would be happy if you leave me a like. And if you liked it, of course. And thank you so much for listening and stopping by. And I see you again next week. You have a good night or a good day wherever you are. Thank you. Much love.